Hello, viewers. I'm SB,
And I am Amabel.
and welcome back to Is the Blueprints. Welcome back to this Blueprints. Some more. It's time for this. Look at all those steps.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all of it. All right, let's outdoor room, right?
Yeah,
There's nothing else that we need to or want to do right now before we go back inside, right?
I don't think so.
Okay. Hovel trading post. I think we should have the trading post open. We haven't actually
Okay.
tried to trade items here yet.
Yeah. And hey, we just got to die because of our shop thing.
Oh yeah, that's right, because this is a shop room. Okay, so there's dirt in here. It's a weird looking hacksaw. Okay, nothing else. There's one spot of dirt. All right, we will come back when we have items. It's true. I forgot that drafting a shop was going to give us a die, but that's even more room. More room? More reason to pick that room. And fuck this coin. Yeah.
Take that coin.
Take that. Well, you throw this away. All right. So
I love how normal you are.
what a good and normal way to put that. All right. So we continue to seek a powered pump room.
Mm-hmm.
What else are we looking for? Now we know that those 8 doors down there are not like. Now we know there's something.
Yeah.
And so that gives us reasons to care about a thing.
Yeah.
This is going to give us, like, we're not going to be able to. Maybe we shouldn't be taking this room so early, you know? Because, like, I want to draft weird stuff off the library, but a lot of the cool weird stuff requires gems.
Yeah.
So maybe we should be holding off until we get gems. Oh, right, that's just the explanation of the. Yeah, okay. The wine cellar kills this whole part of the run. It locks off the hallway, but like it is a bunch of gems, and we can still entrance hall into the foundation.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Do you want to do that instead of Dovecote?
Yeah, I kind of think
Want to get
I kind of
gems?
think I just
Okay.
I just want to have some gems. It's rough. Life is rough when not have gem. Life is rough when not have gem. $12.13, right? MCC XIII.
Yeah, probably. I can look that
Because
up.
this marriage was not that long ago, right? We remember we saw the family crests where. I'm wondering if 1213 1213 is going to end up being one of the codes. Because remember we saw the crest of the two families, we were like, that just represents.
That is 1213.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that just represents the merging of those two families. That's a thing we saw. Well, don't love this. 3 dead ends.
Redraw.
Yeah. Man, I hate to spend it so early.
Kitchen's good, and that gives you the die back.
Yeah, that's true. Getting the die back does make that pretty interesting.
Let's just see what's the main course today.
We're taking the bacon and eggs because
right.
I wanna see the morning room. Crap! I've already forgotten which side of the house it was on Because we saw a thing indicating that it was on. It was a West Wing room, right?
I think so.
Yeah. I think so too. The passageway is the only thing that actually goes all the way to the wall. The den will probably get us to the wall, though. One way or another. And I can't just not draft a den, obviously. Critically important stuff here.
The most important room.
It's the most important room. Okay, so we can chapel through. Feels like we should probably take the chapel here, just for fear of ending the run.
Okay.
And we don't have any coins right now, so it doesn't hurt to enter it. And also there was a gem. Hooray. Okay, parlor is well placed. Points us.
Hang on before you. Can you go back to the chapel, please, for a moment?
Why?
So there are statues. Are any of the statues the statue in the
No.
No. Okay. Well, never mind then.
The white box is true. The other two boxes are false. The other two boxes are empty. Okay, so we have a problem right here. Obviously, this box can't be true. Because if the blue box is true, the white box negates it. We create a problem immediately. So, blue box is false.
Okay.
So, white box is false.
Right.
Which means black box is true. The other two boxes are empty.
Mm-hmm.
Did they, these got way easier, right?
They did get easier.
That's weird. Because the billiard room ones didn't experience a difficulty reset.
Well, I think because we got that one wrong, and they were like trying to help. You know, it's a very much like, oh, you can't solve my puzzle, Mario.
I guess so. The fact that you attacked Mario onto the end of that is not going to make sense to the viewers.
No, I suppose not.
I mean, I kind of want to just keep opening rooms along the left side. The patio is not very good yet anyway.
Yeah.
Even more gems.
Corridor, or do you want to do a redraw?
I think it's okay. Yeah, I guess let's redraw. I want to see some green rooms. The patio's not very exciting until, because it doesn't go through, it's not very exciting until you have the shovel.
Yeah. Do you want to go with the observatory?
Not really. I don't want any of these. I want my
We'll go
die
gymnasium
back.
then.
No. I think I'd rather do this. All right. I think these are all beneficial shapes. The sail and a key. Not be a bad day to find a bookshop, but the bookshop can only come off the library, right?
And we've already done the library, so.
Yeah, in theory. We actually don't know for sure if the copy, the reading nook creates its own library. We don't know for sure that removes the library from the deck. Right? Because you definitely can draft the thing even when you... bummer.
I mean, you can get the sledgehammer.
Yeah. I think I'd more like to take the metal detector, actually.
Okay. Must just be a bunch of chests here in every other room.
Yeah.
Every room has 4 chests in it.
Well, like part of the value of this is that it should help us find coins, right?
Yeah.
So the bedroom gets us back on the west wall.
Okay.
Also gets us the money for that sledgehammer if we want it. Right? It was 6 listed.
Yeah.
It was 8 listed for Amabel.
Sorry.
Your lies doomed us. This is not a room where it hurts terribly to have to go in and out a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
I guess conference room now. Anything laying around in here? Oh, nothing unusual. Take all conference notes and place them in the office safe. Okay.
We haven't been in the office yet, but there is a safe in the office.
I mean, we like a laboratory, but the drawing room gives us the best chance of drawing cool new rooms with its fancy rerolls. Hold on, is this one locked too? No. I'm not super excited about any of these. That's a dining room on 6 leading up to 7. Steps are so not a concern, I guess.
Yeah, you want to go courtyard?
Yeah, I guess so. It's a through anyway. But I think I will go ahead and use the key here. The gift shop in a position. The gift shop in a position where we have, yeah. So we get coins when we use the die, right?
Yeah.
Is this on the sale flyer?
I don't remember.
Well, we should probably check it out anyway, because we've not actually been in here that many times. We've only been in here once, right?
This is our second
so
time,
stuff might be different. Although it looks like this is exactly the same.
Yeah, so these aren't on sale, no.
Interesting. Okay. I would really like to see what some of this stuff is, but you got to get one of the big money sources. Okay, pool. We take a pool. For sure we take a pool. We metal detect ourselves a banana. Delicious metal banana. Now that's sledgehammer money. Okay. Both doors are locked, but the important thing is we have drawn the pool now. So, across the courtyard. So there's a locked chest. The commissaries. Yeah, I'm gonna go buy the sledgehammer.
Okay.
We may as well pop that chest. We still have about 1 billion steps. Okay, I mean, it's not exactly what I was hoping for. That is extremely handy. This is less so. But I think it's
we
fine.
use it here, yeah.
I mean, this is a pretty good opportunity to take the office.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Stuff's happening. We're learning things. Hey, look, it's another one of these big hands.
So check out that guy. That's what that hand's doing.
Okay, that's interesting. The decor is weird, but not like usefully so. It would seem, at least at the moment. All right. Hey, free upgrade disc. That's pretty cool. Like to see one of those on the same piece of furniture as a computer.
Computer, yeah.
Bridget, please check if any books matching these titles are available for purchase in Reddington. Flight of the Queen, March of the Count, Fall of the Lord, Passing of the Barons, and Herrings of the Major. Had a little trouble reading the Baron's writing, so I'm not sure if the last title is intended to be hearings or herrings. But knowing Herbert, I suspect either would be suitable.
Okay. That's a bit of writing that amused me. I'll
Bridget. Another name that I don't believe I have noted yet. Okay, Bridget. March of the Count is in black, the others are in red. What? I see. Okay. I guess that's all that's in this drawer. It's weird to have a dial in your drawer that does that.
yeah.
All right, show me something cool. The parlor. Does the parlor need an upgrade? It's already a room that we take constantly. Gem prizes equal to red rooms in your house. If you open an empty box in the funeral parlor, lose 30 steps. You know,
I think the 3 gem prizes they need
yeah.
more are
The funeral parlor is, boy, that's a decision. The antechamber lever is in the antechamber lever in the greenhouse is broken again. I don't think there's enough time to put another work order before Simon arrives, so just make sure the west and east levers are operational. Well, it turns out they are. Not really anything interesting. All right, let's try this computer out in a more standard fashion. Run payroll. Payroll has been run for this week. Please try again any day next week, starting on Monday. Interesting. Spread gold in estate. The office can facilitate a modest distribution of coins withdrawn from the staff incentives program. These coins are spread throughout the estate. Well, obviously they're being put in one particular place. All right, log into the network. Theoretically, we have access to the email from here, right?
yeah.
Which probably will contain something interesting. From Anne Babbage next week, 11:01. Sir, you have not left me any instructions for the following week, and you know how much I hate leaving critical plans up until the last minute. As soon as you decide on definite plans for the holidays, please pass a message on to me, either through Hartley, who is valeting for you this weekend, or if you absolutely insist, through this confounded electronic typewriter, Anne Babbage. Hartley So valet. Okay. Fuse box repair from DC Power. Gabe, yes, that is the correct functionality. Also, when you are out here next week, please test that the correct sequence is off blue, green, white, red, purple. Thanks for the due diligence on this project.
All right, let me write that down.
That is very doable, I think. If I can consistently figure out how to turn a white light on. All right.
I just got put that back.
I
Please.
took a screenshot of it.
All right.
Also, what do you mean you were struggling to get your... We're 20 minutes into the episode.
I was getting the pen dropped. I was getting the
Okay.
pen.
I'm sorry. Dear Herbert, we just wanted to let you know that the changes you requested to your will have been implemented and notarized. If your premonition, God forbid, should bear fruit, rest assured that your plans will be executed down to the last detail. McGuire, McKinley, and McDougal. Premonition, eh? The vac indicator lights installed per instructions have been turned on. However, it should be noted that the white indicator is only displayed after syncing all 6 indicators to purple. If this is not the desired functionality, let us know. Yeah, that's consistent with my understanding of things. So turn everything purple, then flip that one to white, and then get the others rotated to what they're supposed to be.
Okay. Do you want a remote terminal access to do a lab experiment?
I'm in the middle of something.
Okay. All right.
So as of November 4th, all work has been suspended at Mount Holly. All domestic staff has been placed on extended paid leave. Right. Don't think anyone else has access to this network but you. A special order. Something we want to order that we want to make sure is available. I mean, I feel like it's the shovel, right? It's basically always the shovel.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Yeah, let us remote to the lab. Wow, we could remote to the lab. We could remote to security and try to decrease the likelihood of running into a keycard door, but...
No, lab. I think lab is good.
All right. All right, show me some... There don't need to be this many, like, preface screens and stuff. They really do want you to slow down. Okay, so whenever you draft a shop room, which is a thing we're incentivized to do already, although we have drafted a couple, so there's not that many left in the pile. Or immediately, I'm inclined to do top, maybe? I think
Okay.
top is what I want.
All right.
It's more reason to pull shop rooms. It would be nice if we had not already taken 2 shops, but it's fine.
All right. I don't.
What if it was 12-13? It's not.
We have a note about what the safe combination isn't. I remember that. We don't have a note for what it is.
Well, it's not about this safe necessarily, though.
Isn't that note in the conference room about the office safe?
I thought it was... Maybe it is.
There's money in the conference room anyway.
Yeah. What would be the purpose of telling us that it's not 9083, which I think is what the thing said?
I don't know.
Because under what circumstances would we try to enter 9083 anyway? It's possible that we are seeing the game. Yeah, it's possible that we are seeing the game behave a little. Words. The word just went right out of my brain. I blame you going Pompro in the middle of me trying to think. So we want to redraw floor plans, hoping to get the boiler here, right?
Yeah.
We did not get it.
Well, damn.
However, the archives definitely has a man. The archives definitely has a conduit, but boy, do we not want it to be the archives. There is still another. There are two other sides to the pump room.
Right.
And I think if we got the boiler room turned on, I think it would still work.
Yeah.
Running through the wall, maybe.
Do you want to get the dining room?
I do.
We have plenty of steps.
I kind of want to take the locker room.
All right.
And run back and get some keys, right?
Right. I mean, get keys and money because it's going to spread the... There should be a gem in the locker room, too.
Yeah, the power conduits actually only run from these two walls, though. Well, I mean, we did what we could.
Oh, the gem's in one of the lockers. Okay, now that's less ideal. So if they only run, does that mean that we won't be able to do it?
I think so. Well, actually, there are conduits in here, though. So if the boiler room was over here, I think it would still be fine.
All right.
Maybe we can get lucky.
Now you said the other
There's
day
definitely no conduit in this room.
That you had thought of a way.
White King in this room.
White King in the office. Okay. You had said the other day that you had thought of a way to drain all the water from the pool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like, so because...
Without having to get the other pump.
Yeah, I think so. So if we activate the pool here... Yeah, I think I was being silly. So we need to grab...
See, I remember stuff. I'm helpful sometimes.
You're helpful? Now we want to drop off... water into the reservoir. Oh no, actually, hold on. I didn't want to do that. Hold on. We do want this tank to hold water because we're using this tank to make room for the extra water from the pool, right? Because now, yeah, if we drain 4 more units from the pool here and then put them in the reservoir, then we can drain the last unit and keep it in the tank, and the pool can actually be empty.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's a thing that's worth doing, but I do know it's a thing we can do. Okay. There we go. So now the pool is completely drained.
All right. So we go to the conference room, pick up our stuff, and then the pool. See what the deal
I
is.
feel okay. So the pool
What?
is we want to go conference room first. This is actually a lot of stuff. This is a very welcome surprise. Yeah, wow, 6 keys.
Can you read that red note for me real quick? Sorry. Just want to make sure if it is.
Yeah, it just
Okay,
says safe
no.
code.
But it's next to the note about the office.
Yeah. So I think it's what I was about to say is I think it's reasonable that that's the safe that it's not talking about. And
Yeah.
we all understand what I mean, but it's a little weird to. We might actually be able to make the swim trunks happen. We're getting pretty close. Oh,
Oh, hey, there's stuff at the bottom of the pool, like I said.
but
There
like
would
there
be.
visibly wasn't though,
But you couldn't
right?
see through the chlorine.
We could see the bottom of the pool.
Okay, so are we going with
I'm buying the
so you
swim
get the swim
trunks.
trunks?
I want to know what they do.
You might need to put the water back in the pool.
You might need to put the water back in the pool.
Why are you being so mean to me? I'm a nice lady.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be mean. Yeah, maybe, or maybe it doesn't work on a pool that you pulled, a pool that's already been placed. You know, maybe it's an upgrade that it has to be put into a new room. I think it's just a storeroom.
Yeah. Excuse me.
What?
Look at the bird.
No. I'm not spending steps to look at the bird.
We've looked at the bird every time.
Okay, well, if you want to do things, you got to speak up before it has a cost associated with it.
Yeah, Traffic Studio sounds good.
Yeah, because the gift shop already gives us access to that other space, and we
Yeah.
wouldn't want to draft the boiler room up here anyway. Okay, this is the room with the tiny safe. That we didn't know what to do with before,
Yeah, which we still don't.
which we still
Right?
don't.
We know today is December 10th. I believe.
Yeah. The not allowed to flip this, am I? No. The art's kind of weird, huh?
Yeah.
There are 8 small gates.
Okay.
Doesn't strike you as
I mean, but
is that okay in a very neutral way there? It doesn't strike you as as odd given some of the things that we know?
given the thing about opening, it is of interest. This might be some kind of clue. This might be a ball of string.
Is a ball of string a kind of clue?
Yes. So the word clue, CLEW, means like a ball of string, and
Okay.
word, but the word clue that we have comes from the clue that Theseus had in the labyrinth
Oh,
when he went to
okay.
fight the Minotaur. Like that's where the word clue comes from.
I did not know that. That's very interesting. So you said it's December 10th?
Yes,
Oh, I can't interact with the buttons without a magnifying glass anyway.
uh, because it tells us the date on the thing behind us. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, you're right. Sorry. Potential new floor plans. And every time you enter the dormitory after drafting a planning room, gain 10 steps, casino with games of chance, or the clock tower. Tomorrow you'll start with one key for each clock room you draft today. The clock tower seems good.
All right. Yeah, I would say either clock tower or casino sounded good to me.
I just right clicked. I didn't mean to close the thing here. That's weird. I can't see my mouse cursor on the window anymore. There we go. A buy-in of 2 gems is required. Guests may be surprised to discover how much strategy is involved in the games featured here. Yes, that's interesting too. This is less so, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. It's weird. The mouse cursor disappears when it's on the until you get it over the button once. It disappears on the screen. So I do think, yeah, I think it's probably not the dormitory. I think they're both compelling. If the casino's games of chance actually are figurable, if they're not actually entirely chance, that could be an extremely useful room too.
Yeah. I think with the clock towers, we haven't encountered any clock rooms before.
Yeah,
So
we
it'll be
have.
interesting to have we?
Yeah, like this symbol's on the mailroom.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, why don't you do clock towers, sweetheart?
All right. It's on the mail. It's on rooms that refer to the next day, I believe. So it's
Okay.
on the mailroom. It's on
Gotcha.
the coat check. So okay, we gotta get a magnifying glass before we can interact with this room in any other way. Security is pretty much whatever. Yeah, I guess we want to just take the corridor. Okay.
We'll take another step at the gallery, I guess.
Yeah, I would take the ballroom if we could, probably, but we can't, so. All right, are things exactly the same? They are exactly the same. I was kind of wondering if there would be details swapped out in the puzzles or completely new images or, whatever. So, okay, the 5-letter one.
Yeah, you were thinking we might
Let's
well
just take a
just.
second here. Yeah, like if we want to try to force a solution, this would be the easiest one to do it with, obviously.
And that might give us
And
a clue
then
as to
yeah,
the
once
system
we
the
once
other.
we know once we know what kind of
Okay.
answer they want.
That's BWFPTSCD.
C D. Okay.
R
R
L
L
C
C O
O
A
A
H
H
I
I
E.
E.
I mean, that's still a lot of letters.
Yeah, there's 8. Yeah,
A E
E
I O
I
and U.
Yeah.
Plus also R, N, and T.
Okay.
D, C, M, N, R, A, E, I. It's also 8, right?
Yeah.
All right, and then T, D, K, E, R, S, N, A.
Okay, I'm gonna send you a picture.
Yeah, please do. So, each of these pictures has a large number of elements. So the name of the picture, the thing they want us to enter, it either has to refer to all of the elements, or there must be some way in which like the critical element is indicated, um or it has to be like a word that has to do with the relationship between the elements. Right? The fact that each picture um is so packed with information is really pretty limiting as to what they could possibly be trying to do here.
Yeah.
Did you?
Okay, so I
There it
sent it
is.
to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, it took Discord a while to load up on my phone. Do you want to just pause the recording and have us just try to work through this, or do you want to do this on air? I
Well,
don't know
I mean,
how
just like
visually
let's try
excited.
to logic through it a little bit here before we go too
Okay.
raw, just figuring out words that fit. So with these letters, manacles, a lake at night, the word thick, and the hand has no arm. What on earth? I mean, the word thick is in the thing here, but obviously that doesn't make sense as an answer. And also, we tried it already yesterday. It didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Uh,
And we don't know how much of this is if we have to solve the whole puzzle before we get any feedback, unfortunately.
right. Yeah, it could be. It could be the case that we can't brute force this part because the game might not tell us anything until all 4 of the puzzles are entered.
Um, I'll tell you just
They love a little word
at
game. Yeah.
letters.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it is very likely that the second and or the third letter are a vowel because of the number of vowels they give us and because of the way English words are constructed. Um, and looking at how those letters fit together, um, I do feel like point is a word that's jumping out to me, and the light is pointing at the word.
Mm,
It's just a. You look very dubious on that, and it could be. I'm.
yeah. I mean, I don't. Point doesn't have anything to do with any of the elements of this drawing aside from arguably the light being pointed at the word.
And I mean the K kind of being different than the THIC. The K is kind of arrow like.
Okay. I guess I see that.
I mean, I'm not because this is a surrealist painting. I'm not seeing a lot of logic points to grab onto.
Well, there are elements of the picture.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm just having trouble with it. That's why I was looking at the letters and trying to see what letters here would correspond to something there. Um,
Yeah. You could almost say the starry night sky and the light both shine, but shine doesn't have anything to do with the word thick.
but it is a word that we.
Except that, like, except insofar as the word is reflected, it's like shining in the lake, shining off the lake. Right? We use the word shine, like to say something shines off of something else.
Yeah.
It's hard to connect that to the top part, though. Yeah, it is unfortunately kind of a pain to enter stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, well, nothing happens, so I put in point. My assumption is nothing will happen when we do this either, but yeah. But it wasn't very hard to do from point, so I figured we may as well give it a shot.
Hmm.
Yeah, nothing's jumping out at me. All right, I am gonna pause the recording first. Let's take a second, and
Okay.
really figure this out. So yeah, we'll be back in a second.
Can you try thin K?
Where are you going? Yeah. You you want to walk me through why?
Because the K was thin.
Right, but what does that have to do with any other element of the image?
I don't know. I'm just trying.
Like, okay, arguably, like illumination, reflection. The hell does the hand with the manacles have to do with it?
I don't know. It feels. Oh, think.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You figured that on your own, did you, Amabel?
I didn't really figure it out.
Okay, well, if it's just gonna be like, okay, so like I said, like I kind of get illumination, reflection. There's sort of like loose theming there.
I guess.
Still not sure what the manacles are supposed to be. I mean, specifically, it's a hand holding manacles. But if it was supposed to be like freedom or something, the manacles would be open, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, I don't know that I like that very much. Okay. An apple, a fire hydrant, a stop sign, and a tulip, and sometimes the letter P.
Yeah.
Riding a wagon.
I mean, this is some other kind of pun, I
That
guess.
doesn't. That
But
doesn't let me. That didn't let me interact with this in any way. No, it doesn't seem like it. Was it pun? Is the? I don't think pun is the word for the.
for
I
the
don't think
thin
there was a
K,
pun in the other thing.
it.
I
It's a
kind of
wordplay thing.
that thin K.
No, I don't like it either.
Yeah, I don't.
Uh, uh,
It's a bunch of red objects.
yeah. And it is reflected
Yeah,
because the
when
stop is,
mirrored, there's a
yeah.
P. Red objects mirrored. When mirrored, there's a P, and otherwise, there's. Mm. Aside from being red, it doesn't feel to me like an apple, a fire hydrant, a tulip, and a stop sign have very much in common, right? Traditionally, they're all outdoors.
I suppose so.
Although
Um,
with like a greenhouse, you wouldn't necessarily have to be the case for the plants. Six letters. What does it mean that there's a P on only half of the image?
so
Is it a no comment?
well, so on the stop signs,
Mm-hmm.
like with it, the one that's reflected, it looks more like a B than a P.
Mm-hmm.
Could it be something about the
Well, on the one that's not reflected, it looks more like a D than a P.
true database? The word is database.
Is that a joke?
Yeah, that was a joke because it's 6 letters. The database has too many letters.
Okay, but
Database is eight letter.
what's the joke?
The
Just
joke is that it's
you just said a thing that's wrong. If that's the case, we've been cracking off jokes at an incredible rate here.
well. The thing is, it just the it. I really am kind of This is one of those barren bafflers. I'm just
The Baron's bafflers.
yeah. I don't.
Okay, if we look at the way that leaf is covering the stop sign, the one
Mhm.
on the one on the left looks like it says DOJ and then a hook, and the one on the right looks like it says tulip. Tulab. Is that something? Can we make something out of that?
It's political commentary. I hate to do this, but do you want to look at what the 6 letters are?
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah, I
six
guess
times
so.
8 letters.
It might not be eight again, right?
Didn't need to be 8 the first time. That was too many.
B
B.
C P T L S M W.
That is 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
AEIOUHRT.
Okay.
VLRNTSOI. Valensoi. DTHSIKVA. AEONLRCS. And finally, NDGRWTEY. Boy, those really are all of the letters that are likely to be at the end of the word.
Is the same backwards and forwards, sort of? The picture, other than the P?
Yeah. It's
Are we
a
looking
mirror
for a
image except for the
palindrome,
P.
maybe?
I was kind of thinking that, but I don't like. What's a 6-letter palindrome that has anything to do with red, or
Well,
any of these
yeah.
objects, or?
Well, I mean, what did thin K have to do with manacles?
Yeah, I'm almost wondering if these are not intended to be solvable with the information in here. If there's another thing we can find somewhere that will make it more obvious what the answers are.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm not. Like, I am seeing some letters that are in common, but I'm not seeing like enough to give us like a palindrome. So that's probably not it.
All right, I'm gonna take a look real quick at the other paintings, and I think we should just bail on this for the
Okay.
moment. Okay.
What's about the last part of the word being chopped off between genuine and veritas or
Veritable or something. That is a very table, right?
yeah, that's true.
And that is genuine.
Okay.
That's something.
Right. But what are the
Okay, how about this? How about this? Veritable, genuine, and actual are all conceptually linked.
Yeah, to what?
This is
Truth or
true,
honesty or
true or real, or
I guess objective in a way.
yeah.
If you have an objective view of reality.
Is this 8 letters? This is 7 letters. No, wait, that's a 7-letter word. Okay, my brain. What if it's realize?
Okay.
Everything in this image is either real or eyes.
Okay.
Do we have the letters for realize? Amabel? Amabel?
I think you got it, baby.
Did I maybe get one?
Are
No?
are you
Okay, okay.
are you still recording?
Yeah, I didn't turn
Okay.
the recording off. What I do when I say I'm going to be right back is I just leave the recording running and then I do a split and concat later.
Okay.
That was, in
All right.
fact, it.
Okay.
Real, real, real. Oh, can we touch this now, or is he going to be a fucking little Lord Fauntleroy about, oh, the glass isn't all the way down. It would be importunate of me to reach over. Fucking cloister bitch. I'm still really mad about the cloister. I'm sorry. I'm looking at this again and trying to see like if that same kind of thing makes sense here. Like there's illuminate and there's reflect. So maybe that's a good, right? Like it's just like it's literally depicting synonymous words, and the answer is a thing that they're synonymous with, right? Genuine, veritable. So
Yeah.
is there something going on here that is like that?
Not that I can.
Do we have we don't really have a lot of English like, idiomatic phrases that involve fire hydrants, do we?
No.
'Cause with a tulip, you could be like smell the flowers, or it is a tulip and not a rose, right?
Looks like a rose to me.
Maybe it's a rose.
Looks like a rose to me. The last time I said that, you said no, it's a tulip, and I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
but
flower expert
aren't
Darwin over
roses?
here.
Yeah, the tulips have those like tighter buds. Aren't roses open more?
I mean, it depends. Like they get more open as time goes on, but
Oh well, who among us, right? Okay, so stop and smell the roses. Um, Roses are thorny, famously. It's a thorned flower.
yeah.
You could get bonked by an apple while sitting under a tree and like sort of so realize and think are kind of synonymous.
Yeah. I'm working with that. I'm trying to think what 6-letter word beginning with a B, C, P, T, L, S, M, or W fits within that.
Wonder
Or ponder.
or
Try
ponder.
wonder though.
Does one?
We have,
Yeah. Do,
we have both of those.
does
so.
okay? Those fit. Well. Okay. I'm gonna lead with wonder because I think it's ponder.
Okay.
Because there's a giant P in the image.
In that case, that P's a little that. These are not my favorite puzzles and blueprints. Let's say that.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what I'll say about this.
Yeah.
This one just doesn't work. Right? This image is
Yeah.
just isn't ponder. It is literally just, it might as well just be an image, a picture of a P. Is there something going on with the word ponder and an association with red that I'm not thinking of, maybe? Or
No, I don't think so. What they should have done is they should have shown us two lab mice.
Okay.
Then we would know. We would know ponder.
All right. So this is going to be another thinky word.
Hang on. It's
No.
8 letters.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Um.
Nailing things to infinity. Do people use the word pounding to mean like pounding away at a problem? Like pounding a bunch of nails into an infinity sign? I don't know if that fits the rest of the puzzle, but think was pretty loose, and the ponder image was just nonsense. So fucking who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, 8-letter word for think. Cogitate.
Cogitate. Yeah. That.
Okay, no cogitate. So okay, 8-letter word for think that starts with H or L or M or N.
Meditate.
Meditate potentially, or just keep taking the letters. Or R or T or D or G. But yeah, meditate seems very possible. You got your 7 deadly sins. What we do not have is a D in the third column.
Okay.
All right, so 7 deadly sins. Cogitate, meditate.
Dare bird. Dare bird.
Dare bird. Birds are not famous for their thought. It's kind of not the thing we usually go to about their brains. What do the sins have to do with it? What's like a sinful way of thinking? Slothful thinking.
Uh, Heresy, blasphemy. If we're looking at sin as in the context of controlling people's behavior,
Okay.
Daring, transgressing. It's really thinking though.
There's a rug on the ground. There's a picture of a shark's fin.
Discover.
Okay.
Do we
Is
have letters
that?
for discover?
I don't know. Do we?
We have a D,
Okay.
and I know we have an S. I
All right. Okay.
haven't.
All right. This is. Damn it. That's promising though.
So when people compared this to Lorelei, I think they're talking about the single button thing. Is what they were.
Okay.
No.
Bad news.
No discover.
And in fact, would this is AEIOU, and then P, G, and T. So that's actually going to be quite a limiter. G and T. So it's a 4th letter vowel. Well, I guess meditate and.
We know meditate doesn't work.
Right, but I'm saying it's like maybe it's not that weird because it's actually. Meditate and cogitate both would have had a 4th letter vowel. Okay.
distance. That's not really a thought word, but we have the ist, and infinity is. I don't know. I'm trying stretching.
The ocean is far away.
Yeah, no.
Nope,
Don't
looks like
have
no
that.
A in this slot.
All right.
LNORSTCG. Okay, so if this is a vowel, it's an O. So this letter's probably not a vowel. This probably is, and this probably isn't.
Okay.
What does that give us? I mean, it gives us things in it gives us things in the meditate family, and there is a T. Just out of curiosity here. Not phonetically, but like morphologically. Yeah, there's a T there. Okay, cut with Y. So fourth letter, probably a vowel. It's actually like, it's frustrating how close.
Yeah.
What about ruminate? Does ruminate work?
It is in a room.
Yeah.
The painting is of a room.
The painting is of a room. God, why do I... Okay. I gotta stop clicking so fast. Ruminate does work.
That's
I don't...
how you feel about these puzzles, sweetie?
Okay, so... You're gonna do a picture that's supposed to suggest ruminate. And put in it the pelt of a predator animal and a shark, but not like a cow or some kind of like cud chewing animal.
It does have an 8, sort of.
Okay, but 8, Amabel. If what they were honestly doing is 8 in room is supposed to make you go, oh, room in 8, because that's the opposite of the thing they've drawn, I'm going to be so mad.
Also, having 7 sin bins.
Yeah, it specifically calls out the only one of these where the picture actually makes sense is that one.
Yeah.
And a little bit that one. What is this? Presumably will unlock room 8. What room is room 8?
I'm assuming the 8th door in the basement chamber.
Okay. I'd be quite surprised if there were keys to... okay. We picked up a sanctum key before and used it to open a door, and it opened the door that we put it in. And I guess that could have been a coincidence. But it doesn't make sense to me. Like, what if you...
Yeah. Well.
Room 8. Okay, it's one of these. It's just whatever room you open with it is room 8. Well,
Oh, there was an eighth bin that was hiding. That's
mundanity. That's interesting. As for a thing to be counted as a sin. The sum of my sin, as it is penned, is a number within the room we are in. To first begin, place me within a bin with an N within its sin. Okay, I see. This is going to be like a whole thing. Okay, to first bin with an N within its sin is...
there are 3 of them.
Yeah, there's 3 of them. Some of my sin as it is penned. Okay, so I can only pick up one. I can only actually hold one at a time. I recommend you think again if I am ever in a bin far from the fin. These are not the best.
No.
Okay.
No.
To my chagrin, my neighbor's sin is written. Hold on. Stupid hands. To my chagrin, my neighbor's sin is written thin to fit it all in. That's mundanity, right? So this one's the avarice one?
Yeah.
You won't find my bin in between sin, for I deserve to be in a bin down on the end. Well, that is... hubris makes sense. I share a trend with my neighbor's sin. A letter and its twin appear on each bin. So... a letter and its twin appear on each bin. But there's only one bin that has a doubled letter. So, does it just mean that they share a pair of letters? But it's a letter and its twin appear on each. If we spend a min or 10 lounging in the den, you'll know which bin I'm often in.
Well, that's gonna be sloth.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And finally, the bin I tend to wind up in is near the bend in the tail. That's envy. I didn't actually finish reading it. Sorry, my hand keeps...
Okay.
Hand off the mouse. The bin I tend to wind up in is near the bend in the tail of the skin, which means that it basically can only be envy, because hubris is the only one that's actually near that, but envy is the only one that's near it, kind of. That's the best we can do. This one's really obviously hubris.
Okay.
I deserve to be in a bin down on the end, and the other end is mundanity, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
So we're
maybe
assuming the dog.
Maybe that is a false assumption. Because like this does make sense. Pretty much only here, and like none of the other things are near the tail. All right, a letter and its twin appear on each bin. A letter and its twin appear on each bin. If I am ever in a bin far from the fin. But we don't know if that means like right underneath it or if it's just not able to be, there might be more than that. The sum of my sin as it is penned is a number within the room we are in. The sum of my sin as it is penned.
So is there one that's 8 letters?
Gluttony. Yeah, just gluttony.
Okay.
To first begin, place me within a bin with an N within its sin. How many of these are left?
Just envy.
Just envy, provided we've got the other ones, right?
Which means that one is going to be the one next to envy. Lust. What a lustful swan.
A letter and its twin appear on each bin. I don't agree. So, something ain't right. Okay, well, you know what? I was looking for doubled letters like that, but it could just be a letter occurring twice at all, in which case avarice fits, as does mundanity.
Okay.
My neighbor's bin. And the elephant's definitely avarice. My neighbor's bin is written thin. Okay, so I think you are pride. Because I clicked outside the window, sorry. Yeah, those two then I'm feeling pretty solid about, actually. Sloth still seems right for this, off of the text. The bin I tend to wind up in is near the bend in the tail of the skin. It would have to be envy then. Even then, I think that's pretty loose. You could be wrath, you could be lust. We'll say you're lust right now.
But the line has to go in an N.
Yeah.
Of which there are only three.
Three.
Okay, hang on.
Mundanity's out, so like, yeah, it really does feel like this has got to be right.
Okay.
The N, and that leaves some of my sin as it is penned. I can't see it when I'm holding them. It's actually pretty annoying. Pretty annoying design there. The sum of my sin as it is penned is a number within the room we are in. Is there a number in here that isn't a big sideways 8? Amabel, I'm a little stuck.
Yeah. I'm a little stuck too.
Not allowed to pull up the map, but I believe this is the room. This is the room that we would like to be the boiler room, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And we can't make it the boiler room. But what we can do is take the dark room.
Yeah.
Because the dark room also has conduits. And hope to get the boiler room on the other side.
Okay.
And we can come back and look at this other thing in a second here. That's bad, right? Because the boiler room is a one gem.
I believe it's 1 gem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to take the 2 gem room to see what it is?
Sure. Okay, it's the ballroom. It's not bad. Does the locker room... Hold on, I am going to spend steps here. No, the locker room only runs the conduit to its doors. It doesn't... I was wondering if it would be possible to get power into the complex through here, but I don't think so. I think it just did it as far as powering the boiler room goes. Or as far as powering the pump room goes. Well, that's frustrating. Oh, I can't even plunk away at the keys. If we take the utility closet... Well, if we take the utility closet, we can do that stuff with the lights at least.
Yeah, why don't we do that? Then we'll go back try to figure out room 8.
Yeah, I just needed a little break.
No, I get it.
Okay. Nope. Sorry. My hand. Okay. We wanted to... white. And then this one's blue. This one's green. This one's red. No, wait, why did that change the purple light? Ah, bloody hell. It's not clear to me why that did that. Okay, so if I click this, I can only flip it between white and purple right now. That's concerning, actually. And this one's white. Yeah, that's a problem. How did I do that? Getting this light to be oh wait, I want that one to be blue. This okay. Yeah, getting the second to last light to be red is apparently a real issue. So if I make this white and then try to make that red, it breaks. Yeah, shit, that's really annoying. And I'm not sure how to stop it from happening. Because you can only turn the last light purple when these 5 are purple, right?
Yeah.
At least that's what it said on that sheet. And if I click this, it's going to unpurple that. But I'm wondering if I can disrupt the sequence of lights in a different way. So if I click this now that it's blue, it's going to disrupt the purple light next to it. Yeah, it's going to do that to it. Shit. Okay, there we go. I'm not sure why that worked, but it did. But that doesn't allow me to. If I have to break the line elsewhere, then I can't make the light over here white. There's something about the mechanics of this that is not working. Okay, so if you press the light to the right or to the left of a purple light, it breaks the purple light. And then if you make that light red again, yeah, you can't make this one white without everything being purple, which is apologies.
Nothing to apologize for, sweetheart. I haven't understood the lights to begin with. So you're already coming at it with more understanding than I am.
So the one email says that you can only turn the lights white when all of the lights are purple. Which makes a little bit of sense. Okay, so I'm not exactly understanding all the rules for this either, obviously. And that is becoming a little bit of a problem now. So if I press this now, that becomes purple. Okay, and once it's purple, I can turn that white. I'm wondering if I can disrupt this differently. Like if that's red, no, if that's red, does this turn back to purple? Yeah, okay, it turns back to purple when you turn it off of white. But then how are you supposed to make this one white? It's a huge problem, Amabel.
Yeah.
I'm finding it very frustrating that there are puzzles here that we have but we can't execute.
Yeah. I
That
do
feels
feel like this
that
has
feels
been
more like a personal failing now.
I do feel like this has been a more puzzle heavy episode for us, and I do like that.
Yeah.
Like this has all been one run. Oh no, sweetheart.
What?
Well, we usually do 2 runs an episode.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, shit. If this one's white, then the other ones can't. I cannot create another white cell.
So the thing is to make them all purple and then create the one white that you need to start with, and then figure out how to not turn off the purple at the end.
Yeah. We can store the purple basically like underneath a white. If I click this again, it'll turn purple.
Mm-hmm.
If I start messing with this one, it won't turn white in the first place because they're not all purple yet. The order of this puzzle is frustrating. So that becomes purple, this becomes purple. If this one became white and this one became blue and this one became green, yeah, you can't click through that one being blue without breaking this. There it is.
Okay. I don't know how you did that, but I'm glad you did.
It is very curious that is a whole fake wall. I guess, it is true. The utility closet does look like half a room on the map. What does this do? Ah. Where the hell does that go? The Gemstone Cavern. Starting tomorrow, you will start each new day. Okay, starting days with gems makes life so much easier. Yeah, that's a big improvement. Still mad that we can't just noodle. I don't think we have actually a use for this, right?
No.
Yeah, because we can't unfortunately actually make it to the antechamber. Nor can we could get in the den. I don't think it matters.
I mean, we might get something useful. I don't know.
Maybe.
Okay, so this puzzle.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I deserve to be in a bin down on the end. So you are either hubris or mundanity. However, a letter and its twin appear on each bin.
okay.
So if there's a pair, so this has 2 N's, this has 2 A's, that has 2 T's, and that's it. Which, yeah, would mean your mundanity. And so that's the end that's on, so the dog has to be on the other end.
Okay.
But I do not like that because of the statue that says it's near the bend in the tail. I guess it could be here. To first begin, place me within a bin with an N within its sin. So not envy. We had you in gluttony.
Okay, we know sloth is right.
I mean, we think we know lots of things. It's written thin to fit it all in. Mundanity is definitely the only one that has unusually thin characters.
You know,
Although they don't look that thin. What's up?
The rabbit's in mundanity because of the double letter thing, but there's more than one double letter thing. Right.
I share a trend with my neighbor's bin. A letter and its twin appear on each bin.
Yeah.
So it's two things that have two of a letter next to each other, right?
Right. And is there another? Got the 2 A's and 2 N's here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that might just. I'm trying to. The big 8 being in the middle makes it actually really hard to see what's going on.
It is like very inconvenient. I will give you that.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's the only place that really fits.
Yeah, and there's nothing in the room here for us to interact with when we've got it. It's just like it'll pop when it's done. The sum of my sin as it is penned is a number within the room we are in. Are we misunderstanding this clue?
It could be that we're doing that because though the number 8 is in here.
Yeah.
So that is within. So it would be an 8-letter.
Of which there's exactly one.
Yeah. Is gluttony written thin?
I don't think so. Honestly, I don't think mundanity is either.
I think the monkey has to be in the hubris bin because of the tail. The bend of the tail is only really near that one bin. And I think probably the swan is going to be in the envy bin for being near the... Like, those things make sense for me as first principles.
Okay. Near the bend of the tail. I agree with you that this makes a lot of sense to me. I recommend you think again if I'm ever in a bin far from the film or from the fin. We don't know what far means.
But
I don't know. Share a trend with my neighbor's bin. A letter and its twin appear on each bin.
Okay, is the rabbit in the bin, in the avarice bin, and is the elephant near gluttony? Like in the wrath?
No.
No. Okay. Because the elephant is for some ridden thin, and like gluttony and mundanity aren't particularly thin, but they do seem like they're thinner than some of the other ones.
Yeah.
So if the rabbit it has to be in one with the double letter thing. It's either in mundanity or avarice. But we don't have a room for the dog yet. So if the bunny is in avarice and the dog is in mundanity, that satisfies those conditions. And then the elephant needs to be near gluttony. Because gluttony is ridden thin.
Wait, no, you're not the right. You're not the written thin guy. You're the written thin guy. So you think the elephant's in wrath or sloth?
Wrath, because sloth is the only one that actually has
the only one that you feel is like actually we're confident on. Okay, so if this is the case, then we still have the double letter thing, and you could be the bunny of avarice.
Yeah.
Some of my sin as it is penned. Do we leave him here and trust?
Yeah. Been on the end.
Yeah.
Okay, now this one needs to be in one with an N, and all we have left is lust. So maybe this goes in envy, and the swan goes in lust. So the swan will still be near the fin.
Well done. You did.
It's a dumb puzzle, but
something. Oh, that. You did that. An allowance token. And an allowance token. Our allowance is getting good. And also a trophy in recognition of rumination. For solving the room in puzzle room 8 on rank 8. Oh. I guess we may have just gotten lucky that it had to be on rank 8. That's just a thing.
Or it might be that the gallery could only appear on rank 8 with a room 8 door.
Was that the case last time?
I don't remember.
I don't either.
Okay, do you want to go to the den and try to work our way up and see what else we can find with our 40 steps?
Well, I mean, what I want to do is go outside and check the new thing we opened.
Okay.
So that's going to be... Commissary Observatory. Still no morning room. All right, let's run out here and have a look.
It's gotten dark out.
Yeah, this run has been long. Okay, here we are.
One thing I did notice people talk about online is that there is not a way to save in the middle of a run.
Yeah.
That kind of... Not a huge fan of that.
Same, because I definitely would have already. Here's the last of the equipment for the new mine. I don't think we're going to need more than this, especially if we're going to limit excavation to 2 stones per day. I was told by the engineer that getting greedier than that might risk the structural integrity of the cave walls, so I suppose we'll have to adhere to his expert opinion, at least for now. We managed to remove all but 1 minecart from the old tunnels. 2 of which were too rusted and worn down to be of any use up here. So Dave went ahead and made the call to scrap them. I'm not sure that the foreman is going to be too happy about that, but hopefully you can smooth it over. Now, there's still one more cart down there, but it's locked on a short track and it's way too difficult to move from the reservoir side. It's a little bit awkward because it's blocking the passage, so I suggest someone move it from the other side if they can get over there. The boss informed us that there are 2 other ways into the site from that side, but I think we're going to leave that for someone else to finish up if the old man really wants it done. Oh. So this should be the last of these.
All right. Okay, that's...
Well, now that's curious.
I gotta say, this kind of stuff is the stuff I really have been hungry for with this.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we had gotten to it a bit sooner. And part of that is the way we approach the run, but part of it is, the kind of the structure of the game that we've talked about before. Don't need to rehash that necessarily. So like, why would you keep me away from this stuff? Excuse me.
Where is this gonna drop us? Alright, Foreman's Log 3, date 7/2/1915. As our client Thomas Sinclair suspected, the arches that were visible from the south cliff were part of a much longer arcade carved into the rock face. Last week, when our crew first arrived, only 2 supporting pillars were visible, but after only a few more days of clearing vines, moss, and dirt, we've uncovered a few more. Our exploration so far has been limited and entirely superficial, as every shaft we've surveyed has ended abruptly, and every promising path leading deeper into the mountain has been blocked by tunnels packed tight with soil, rock, and debris. This site is either much older than we had first assumed, or someone deliberately had these chambers buried. Okay. Oh boy. Shoot. So the office is in 9876. Office is mid 6. Oh, they don't let me look at my map while I'm looking. That's really annoying. I know that there is a rook here.
Bishop's gonna be in the churchy room.
Yeah, it's okay.
We know the security room is. Hang on. So
that's
chapel. So you see where the chapel is, and then we have a knight in the security room.
We don't have a security room. What else? Is that the only place where there's a knight?
Observatory.
Okay.
Yeah. So the observatory next to the commissary there. And then the chapel is in what? B1. Yeah.
Do we have a room that has the queen in it?
White Queen is ladyship's
Right, or ladyship's chamber, or the study or whatever, right?
Study has a black queen, yeah.
And we don't have either of those rooms in our house. So I don't know. That being the case, I don't know if we can complete this then.
And then we have pawns in several rooms. As in the den, for example.
Okay, I don't think it is in the kitchen, so we can move this over to the den. Okay, so rooms do light up when you put them on the right, or the pieces do light up when you put them on the correct kind of room, and they don't light up when you put them on different rooms. So that's interesting. So we're going to need, unfortunately, to pull a king room and a queen room on the same run in order to do this, right?
Yeah.
Bedroom's a pawn room. What was the drafting studio? Did the drafting studio have a piece?
I don't have one written down. That might be another queen one. I don't know.
Doubtful.
Do you want to try it? Doesn't hurt. What if the queen is in the Can you put it in the antechamber?
No.
No. Okay.
No, we need an actual queen room. But okay, so that's the thing to do with chess pieces, which I appreciate.
Wait, the queen that's in the planning room on the chessboard, what position is it in?
D8. But that's a...
Oh.
We don't actually have D.
Okay.
You do love to shout, "Hey, go back in that room," the instant I've left a room.
I'm sorry. It just occurred to me.
Foreman's copy. Do not remove from sight. Realm of Something, Sigils of the Past and Present by Professor R. Willard. Aha! Alright, something. This is in order that something of the realm might not be understood by strangers. Historically speaking, sigils are not a new tradition. They've been found in every era and every culture and predate both written text and heraldic arts. However, today when we use the term sigil, we are specifically referring to realm sigils, those crude circular marks of designation found on royal artifacts, buildings, and older documents. This book was written to make simple the understanding of these fascinating glyphs, and to clearly display the correlation between each sigil and the iconography of that realm's royal art. How is the image of a leafless burning tree seen in geometric lines, and what does that tell us of a kingdom's history? Each line, each circle, and each variation tells a story of the land. Even the adorned borders around the sigils have special meaning. To understand a realm sigil, we must first dismantle the symbol and identify the individual elements that make up the whole. Each sigil is composed of 4 things: the core, the dividing lines, the moats, and the border. At the center of each sigil is a unique shape, different for each realm. If the core gives us a name, the rest of the sigil tells us the history behind the name. Still, it is important to be able to identify and distinguish the core as a first step in deciphering any sigil, as all the other parts are meaningless if we don't first know the place we are describing. Several examples from well-known something. So yeah, we have Orinda is the name of the place, right?
Yeah.
Has this thing that looks like a ticket.
Yeah.
And then we've seen some of these. The check and the hourglass and the little mountain are on the flags for countries that we know. Right?
Yeah.
And the Pentagon is FE something?
That'd be Fen.
Yeah.
Something. Fen Aries, maybe.
Fen Aries, that's right. The rays, different in number and style and stuff. They're important, but not so important that we get to read about them. Alright, wavy lines are used to indicate extreme heat. The scorched air and blazing sun cause the otherwise straight rays to appear shimmering. A rainy realm is indicated with rays of 3 vertical lines pouring down. For a more extreme stormy weather, a jagged lightning-shaped ray is used. A ray dotted with falling circles is used for colder realms in which snow is a common occurrence. Windy weather is displayed on sigils by the use of bent curved lines, rays buckling under the high winds. Okay, motes. On each sigil, floating between the rays, are small figures called motes. From the shape and style of the motes used on a sigil, we can tell the type of society a given realm proclaimed if they considered themselves mighty in arms or blessed by artistic and economic fortune. Tell the type of society a given realm proclaimed. Okay. So those stars mean tribal. That, like, brain means agricultural.
I think it's like an acorn or seed.
Okay. Metropolitan, large city-state with dense urban and populous center. Academic, industrial, spiritual, and poetic.
Hang on, I'm almost done jotting them down.
Okay. We do have them on recording here.
Okay. And when we are having to reference these, are you just going to pull up the recording that might not go up for a couple weeks? Or
Are you... I'm sorry, are you challenging me right now?
A little bit.
Why?
Because I'm doing my part of the job, taking down notes.
Around each sigil is an adorned edge serving as a container for the information within. There are 8 different borders, each one corresponding to a different color. The borders always correspond to the banner and national colors of that specific realm. So, okay, yeah, we have some relations here. Finally, putting it all together. By studying the core, rays, motes, and border, you should now be able to unlock the meaning behind what had previously been an undecipherable enigma. Red, in the red part of red banners is scratched out. Martial fog. Okay. That's useful. That's actually very useful. Okay, I think there's nothing to do but... Well, we don't have to run back. I suppose I could just... Out of days, I could just nap us back home.
Yeah.
So that's a bizarre thing to be hanging out just below the rock here.
Yeah. Curious things in this mountain mansion.
Sorry, I'm like falling asleep sitting up here.
Well, that's it for today, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Is it? Are we?
Unless you want to go back into the den and try to get a queen room. But the only queen rooms we know are the ladyship's chamber, which isn't going to show up, and the study. So maybe just call it a day.
Yeah, I think I have to. Midday saves would make things a little bit easier.
I thought this was a pretty good run, though.
The ability to just save and quit whenever is, awfully nice. Yeah, this is a good run. I think we'll go ahead and call it a day because I need to.
Puzzles. We learned some stuff.
Yeah, and we permanently unlocked a couple of things. Right, we can now take this elevator at any time, so we can go back to the chess puzzle at any time. So, and we got gems to start each day with. Hooray! The Architect's Shopping Center.
All right. Well,
sadly, our blessing is now over. It's a sad time.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
Yep. That's going to be it for us
time,
for today.
We'll do more of this. We'll figure this out.
We should have gone to the trading post since we were outside already. Like, just to see what they would have given us for our sledgehammer or whatever.
Yeah.